the next thing I'd like to demonstrate is how to patch these vulnerabilities, right? I'm explaining you what are the safeguard techniques, right? So in safeguard technique, the first thing I would recommend is to please, before hosting your site, you must get your website security audited, right? So security auditor will may use some automated vulnerability scanners, right, as well as they will use some penetration testing, right? So I will show you some vulnerability scanner. I have taken the name of Equinetics. So Equinetics is you can say software. You can download this Equinetics trial version from their website, right? And after downloading, you will find this download exe file in your download folder, Equinetics. So here I have downloaded this Equinetics trial. When you will run this trial software, it will ask you because it is already installed in my system, so it is saying you cannot install, right? So it will just ask you to click next, next, next. It will ask your email ID, it will ask you to create some password. Once you will create your password, this Equinetics interface will run. So you can see here it is running on my local host, right? It is running on my local server. So in dashboard, it will give you this type of control, right? If you want to test your website, suppose you want to test your college website. If you want to test your college website, that how much your college website is vulnerable, right? So you can test it. So you have to go to the target button. In the target button, you have to click on add target, right? In add target, you can write here your college website www.nittrchd.ac.in, right? Description, if you want to do anything, no, and add target. Sorry, it is not. Please enter a valid domain. Okay, it is not asking for www.http:// website. Then I will add it to the target. Once the target website will be added, right? Once the target, suppose you want to add your college website www.icollege.ac.in, anything college maybe have domain name. So you can put their college name, and after that you have to click on scan button, right? When you will click on scan button, it will ask you some of the detailed scanning options. First option, it will give full scan, high risk vulnerability, cross-site scripting, SQL injection, weak password, crawl only. So let's select high risk vulnerabilities. Again, it is asking what type of report you want to know or you want to get. So I just want to get this executive summary. And when you want to schedule this scan, instant schedule, so you can choose a scan and create a scan. So it is showing that the scan will be starting very soon, right? So as soon as the scan will started, after some time it will take some half an hour or 1 hour or 2 hours. It will scan throughout your website, each and every pages it will scan, and during this scanning your site may be get down. So it is not always recommended for the participants. So let me stop firstly my Jitter website scanning, otherwise it will make my website down. So please do not scan your website in the daytime, right? So if you want to scan your website, you can use in the night time, right? So this was the Equinetics scanner, vulnerability scanner. You can also generate the report. You can choose the scan executive summary and generate the report. When you will click on generate report, a PDF will be generated, right? And you can download this PDF from here, right? So this is the you can say an idea how this vulnerability scanners works. So in the safeguard technique, next I would like to let you know how to prevent this SQL injection and how to prevent this cross-site scripting and all, right? So let me open this our local website. So this was my local website, right, where I was performing the SQL injection 1 equal to 1. You must have remembered I have created this website. locally. So after using this 1 equal to 1, I am able to log into the system, right? So to prevent this type of attack, SQL injection attack, what safeguard you have to take? So as a developer, right? As a developer or as a website owner, you can ask your website developer to make the secure coding. So what is the secure coding? To perform the secure coding, let me check this login page. So this login page is situated in audit login.php. So I'm going to this root directory, htdocs directory. In htdocs directory, I will find this. Which directory I have to go? Audit directory. So I will go to audit. In site new one, there is audit directory. You can find here the directory name is site new one audit and then login.php. So I will open this login.php. This is the login page, right? This is the login page where the SQL injection is taking place, right? So I can show you the coding because without showing the code, I am not able to tell you what are the safeguard, right, and techniques. So you can see here in the login page there are two controls: username and password, right? These are the fields: username and password. I am showing you the page, design page, which is stored in the server. So when I will explore the code, so you can find here in HTML I have created two fields, one for username and one for password, right? So what I am doing, whatever the username and password are being entered by the user, I am going to capture the details, or I am going to capture the entered username and password into a variable. So to capture these values, I am using the post method. Post is a HTML form method by using which I can collect whatever. Suppose I am writing here ABCD, whatever I am writing. So firstly I have to collect this value, then only I can pass this value to the database server. To collect this entered value, I am using here post method. So what I am writing here, I am writing here post collect the value of username field, collect the value of password field. So whatever the value I am writing here and here, whatever the value I am writing here, I am able to collect it in this variable. So this $username and $passwords are two PHP variables in which I am collecting this value, right? And you must remember in my first slide I have told you that if this collected value or entered value will be directly passed to the SQL, then it will may cause this SQL injection. So that is what I am doing. I am just collecting the value from the user in the username field and password field value in the password variable. I am passing this to the directly SQL command. You can see here select star from login where username is equal to collected username and password is equal to the collected password. I am directly passing this collected value to the SQL. So this is why this this page is vulnerable to SQL injection, right? So to avoid this SQL injection, we must sanitize, right? We must sanitize our inputs. So just what do you mean by sanitization? Sanitization means you have to escape or you have to delete or you have to avoid the dangerous character. The dangerous character may be your single quote, your double quote, your greater than or closing smaller than sign, because whenever you are writing a cross-site scripting, you will be using this sign, this greater than sign, this tag, because most of the tag are used uses this greater than sign or less than sign to be created, right? So I have to avoid. So to avoid this type of dangerous character, I will use some inbuilt function of the programming language. So there is an inbuilt function called MySQL real escape string. This is an inbuilt you can say inbuilt function of this PHP which will escape the dangerous character from the entered username or password. So I am filtering the password field here only. Similarly, you can filter your username also. You have to just pass the collected username here. So what I am doing, before posting to the query, I am going to pass the collected password in this function, in this method, and after passing to this method, as soon as I pass this collected password as a parameter to this function, it will sanitize this input and it will pass only sanitized input to the password. And by doing this small change, now my website is secured with SQL injection. I can show you. If I am writing here this 1 equal to 1, admin and password is equal to 1 equal to 1, what it is showing that please authentication failed, please enter the correct username and password. So by doing this small change, I am able to avoid this SQL injection. So it is not big work or big thing. Your developer must be aware how to handle with, how to take care of these attacks. So just a single function of just few characters, few words, you can able to protect your site from the SQL injection, right? Similarly, for protecting from cross-site scripting, if you want to protect your site from cross-site scripting, your stored accesses, stored cross-site scripting, like earlier I am writing here Amrendra, and I am able to write here any JavaScript here, right? I am able to write this JavaScript, right? So by doing this, my site is going to be vulnerable. My site is going to be vulnerable with this cross-site scripting, right? So to avoid this type of attack, earlier I was entering this script and it is taking my feedback, and as soon as I will log in, it will give you a pop-up. So to defer or to you can say to stop this type of scripting, JavaScripting in our website, we can use the safeguard technique of programming, right? So to avoid this, let me show you how to avoid this cross-site scripting. So I have to go to the page, code page, and the code page name is feedback.php. So let me take you to the feedback.php. We are inside this audit. This is the feedback.php. Here in the feedback.php, you can see here I have created a input called name to collect the name. I am writing here name. So I have created one input field for name, and I have created another input for field text area for creating feedback. So for creating for taking feedback, I have created this text area, and what I am doing, I am directly passing this value, collected value. So what I am doing, whatever the value user has entered in the name and feedback, I am going to store this into a variable called name and feedback, and I am directly passing this entered value, name and feedback, to our insert query. This is our SQL insert query, and we are directly inserting this comment in the feedback table. So you must be aware about insert query. Insert into table name. These are the fields, and these are the values which I am passing. So what values I am passing? I am passing name and feedback values collected. So this is the reason why it is vulnerable to accesses. So again, before passing my values to the tables, before inserting this feedback values, I have to filter, or I have to sanitize the input, right? So how we can sanitize the input? I will use a function called pregmatch. It is a small function of PHP. So in pregmatch means match the paragraph. Whatever the paragraph I am writing, in entire paragraph, we will search for this type of characters. Whatever the characters you want to filter, you can put here slash. I want to filter this bracket sign, dollar sign. All these characters I want to filter from my feedback. So I have kept this all dangerous characters in paragraph match functions. And if this paragraph match function giving true result, true means if my paragraph is having this any of this character, it will return true. And if it will return true, you can see here I am doing paragraph match of this type of character, where in the collected feedback. In the collected feedback, I am searching for this type of dangerous characters. And if it is returning true, I will show a message to the user that special or dangerous character are not allowed. And if my paragraph is not collecting any this type of characters, I will directly send the collected feedback into the database using insert query. That's it. By doing this only change, now my site is safe from this cross-site scripting. So let me show you. So now I have saved this page, and now I'm going to submit this script to my site. So I've written here hacker, and I'm going to submit. So it is showing that special character are not allowed. So now it is very much clear to all the participants that by filtering or by sanitizing the inputs, you can prevent your website from SQL as well as SQL injection as well as cross-site scripting. One last safeguard I would like to show you, that was this directory listening, because it is also very dangerous, and many people has asked me in the chat box and my email that sir, my website is also suffering from same type of problems. Please suggest what should I do. I have already told you that 10 to 20%, 90% websites are having this problem. So to avoid from this directory traversal, what I will do, I will make some small changes in my server configuration file, right? So what changes we should make? Let me show you what changes we should make. Where is my XAMPP? I have to go to the XAMPP server, then I have to open this configuration file. And I will search for the index, because I have to put off this directory traversal. So what I will do, I will search for indexing option in my configuration file. I have to go to the Apache configuration file, then I will search for index options, right? And I have to just comment it. I will comment it by putting hash here. By putting hash here, now I have commented this indexing option, right? So now what happened when I will come back to my site? So just I come back to my site, original site, and I have put it off. Now suppose I want to get to the directory. Okay, I have not started the services. Sorry. After making any changes to the configuration file, you must have to restart your service, right? You must have to restart your service of Apache. So I have restarted here. I have logged in again. I have to my website, and when I will try to go to this directory, internal directory, it is showing that access is forbidden. Now this is the solution form for, you can say this directory traversal. So by making a small changes in the server, I am able to protect my directory traversal or directory listening from attack, right? So if any attacker want to go inside the directory, it will give a message that access is forbidden, 403 error will occur, and attacker will not be allowed. It is showing that you do not have permission to access the requested directory. So by making the small changes, you will be able to protect your website from this directory traversal attack. The last and you can say and final attack, which is called cell upload. So let me show you the cell upload. So I will again log into the DVWA. In DVWA, you will find a file upload option. You will find this file upload option, and it is showing that you have to upload some images, right? But as a hacker, if you want to take over their server, right? So you can upload this any malware file. So I will upload here a malware file here. So I will browse here. Here it is a malware file called web shell. It is also called shell or web shell. So I am going to upload this malware file, and I will upload here. When I will upload here, it is giving that whatever the file you have uploaded, because truly speaking, this site should not allow this PHP file to be uploaded, because they are asking for image upload. So except images, they should not allow anything to be uploaded. But because the site is vulnerable and it is allowing us to upload any shell or PHP or malware file. So what I have done, I have uploaded a malware file written in PHP script, right? So I can show you that malware file. Open it. So this is a huge code. It is creating a very complex code, right? It is having very complex code. So you can find this code or malware file from GitHub, right? You can search it for web shell on GitHub, right? So I have uploaded this malware to the database, and it is also showing. It is also saying that your data is uploaded inside this hackable uploads folder, right? So let me go inside this folder and let me access this, right? I will go to this folder. Okay, now it is open. So it was showing me that your malware file has been uploaded to hackable folder. So I have copied that path, and in DVWA there is a folder called hackable uploads, and where I have uploaded my malware. So I have just run that PHP file in my browser, and it is now running. Now what I have to do, I have just to log into my this malware file. Now what happened? The malware file which I have uploaded have given me complete access. So this is the end of hacking. This is called, you can say, climax of hacking. And in this climax, the hacker will have complete access of your server. You can find here. I can see that I am inside the C drive XAMPP here. So if my website is stored, or my website is hosted on any server, so I can directly go to the root directory or C directory. So you know what this C directory is. You know this C directory is the directory of my Windows, my physical system. The hacker is inside my C directory, right? Because I have hosted my website in my C directory, and then XAMPP, then inside the htdocs. But now the hacker is inside my C directory, and he can delete any file from my C directory. If you want to delete this boot manager, you know this boot manager file is very, very critical. If I will delete this file, my computer will not going to be start next, right? So it is here. You can find OS file. You can find the system. You can find the system folder. You can find here. So complete access. The attacker will have complete access, right? So he can have access to your Windows directory, and in Windows directory you can find here all the folders which are inside the Windows directory are here, right? So you can find here system32. You all are knowing that what is the system32. System32 is a folder of any Windows machine where all the default programs are being stored. You can find the explorer.exe. If I delete this explorer.exe, just I have to click and I have to delete it, right? So if I delete this explorer.exe, what will happen? My Windows or anything in my computer will not going to be open, right? Getting my point? So this is the, you can say, climax of hacking. And if attacker will get access of your web server, he can migrate to any drives, not only C drive. He can go to D drive. You can go to the D drive. There you can see there in my D drive, I have kept, these are the files I have kept in my E drives. Hackers can see in my E drive I have kept some camera files, some audio files, some RAR file. In my F drive, you can the attacker can able to access my G drive. I have kept here many things. I have kept here, right? My backup file, my software, my movies, my oldies, whatever the data I have kept on my system. Attacker will able to see each and every detail, and he can able to select and delete the data. He have to just select here, and you can delete. You can find the delete option here, read file, make files, or you can say delete. You can select the delete option. You can find the delete option here. You have to select the delete and submit. The file will be deleted. So you can now you can imagine how much destructive it is. This cell upload is, you can say, once the hacker will able to upload a cell to any website, now you have gone, right? Your website is gone. The complete access is with the hacker only, right? So this is the last stage of hacking. I have shown you the different safeguard technique as well as different type of attack. So it is all from my side for today's session, right?